So we're actually hugely excited to see 4K or Ultra HD, as it's being referred to for the TV broadcast standard, coming to life. Here at NAB you can clearly see with many more cameras being available, shooting Ultra HD, with many more production tools readily available to actually push a full-on production pipeline in that direction. A lot of things have been happening throughout the last 12 to 18 months, but as much as we've been ready to embrace the high resolution, quite frankly, Premiere has been doing 4K, 5K, even 6K for a while now. There's that other aspect to it. So I'm glad you're asking about color, because ultimately Ultra HD has another meaning than just more pixels. To me, actually, the exciting part is that it also means a much wider range of color that can be reproduced. So color and light in Ultra HD really means it's twice as wide as the current production standard, which is Rec 709. So the Rec 2020 standard, which is the new one, is much wider, can reproduce colors that you've never seen before on a TV screen or in a theatrical presentation for that matter, which is also not quite as wide as the new standard. So that is hugely exciting. There's a lot of work that has to be done. Obviously, it's hard to imagine that we'll just use a switch and say we're now Ultra HD Rec 2020. There's going to be a lot of material that you want to blend in from the archive. That could be the good old SD 601, which was even smaller. HD will be there for a number of years for sure, and then indeed archive material, it all has to blend in, and that's challenging, quite frankly, because with the standard being so wide, there's actually no conversion yet that is simple enough to just say, okay, push a button and it will all magically blend. So we're actually actively working on that. Adobe has a legacy of producing that kind of technology, and we're using the best people at Adobe to look into that, make suggestions to the entire industry. Hopefully it will turn out to be a standard processing technology that everyone is going to use, so it's going to be a fluid transition between HD and Ultra HD eventually. With that larger range that we're capturing already, by the way, with a lot of cameras, just not presenting it really yet, there comes something else. TV sets for really the home, I'm not talking about ultimate high-end here. So the average TV set at home is already capable of producing much more contrast than what we've seen in the last 30, 40, 50 years basically, and that will continue. So you might have heard or seen of Dolby Vision, for example, which is really a way to express more high dynamic range, and that clearly is aiming at the home. So what we're going to see in parallel is that a lot of the content will also be produced with more high dynamic range while capturing, which is great already, but we'll also have more opportunities to bring that to a home theater experience. And that's hugely exciting, because if you think about it, it to a certain degree becomes as real as live. That's what's missing right now. We just don't bring enough light to the equation, but that will make actually the color experience more meaningful. If you bring enough light, color and light ultimately always go hand in hand. So that makes the whole thing all together with high frame rate, with high dynamic range, and then ultimately lots of pixels, arguably, right? 4K is a lot of pixels. But the three of them together really is what will make for a completely different experience compared to what we're having today.